Good morning, children. Stay safely at home. So I'm starting the next chapter, mass energy equivalence and nuclear binding energy. This is also a very small chapter, but concept is very important, and you may get very small interesting numericals from this chapter. So please try to have a very clear concept. Now, as already we know, in a nuclear reaction, whenever a nuclear reaction takes place, then mass is converted into energy. All right, a large amount of energy is produced, and how the energy is produced, a certain amount of mass is converted into energy according to Einstein's mass energy equivalent relation. E is equal to delta mc square. Alright, this delta m, this is known as the mass defect. Means this is the difference between the product and the reactant, mass of the product and mass of the reactant. Alright, so this, in this case, what we consider, if delta m amount of mass is destroyed, then how much energy will be produced? It is given by E into delta m c square, where c is the speed of light in air or vacuum, and it is given by 3 into 10 to the power 8. Alright, and we have already done it, that if you convert, in the last chapter we have done, isn't it, that if 1 AMU of mass, it is last chapter also and in that one also, 10th standard nuclear fission fusion chapter also you have studied it. If 1 atomic mass unit of amount of mass is converted into energy, then we get 931.5 mega electron volt energy. So it gives you the idea that from a very small amount of mass, how much large energy one can get. Okay, and you know this also, inside sun, how we are, from the sun we are getting continuously the heat and light energy. How it is coming? Because inside sun nuclear fusion reaction is going on. Hydrogen converted into helium. Okay, and what is nuclear fusion reaction? When the two lighter nuclei combine to form a heavy nucleus with a production of large amount of energy, that is known as the nuclear fusion reaction. So what is happening in sun? Sun is losing its mass, and that mass is converted due to nuclear fusion reaction, and that mass is converted into energy. Alright, so one can say that if you consider the conservation of mass and conservation of energy, you cannot apply it separately for nuclear reactions or for a system or for a body inside which the nuclear reaction is taking place. So just like that, sun or the universe, if you consider, the total mass plus energy is constant. You cannot say separately that mass is constant, energy is constant. Rather, sum of mass and energy is constant for the universe. That is the mass energy equivalent relation. Okay, so this is the mass energy equivalent relation. What is the meaning of the relation? Once again I am repeating, if delta m mass is converted into energy, you will get energy of this much, that delta m into c square. Alright, so this is the important concept of mass energy equivalence or mass energy relation. Next is the concept of pair production. Once again I am reminding you that this is a very small chapter, each and every topic important for your board exam. Okay, so what is pair production? Pair production means when a gamma ray photon is what, you know, in gamma ray you may consider it is a collection of photons, and what is the energy of each photon according to Planck's quantum theory? H into nu. In photoelectric effect chapter we have learnt that already. Okay, so if you consider a gamma ray photon means what? Energy. When it from gamma ray photon, you may get the mass as electron and positron. Electron and positron are what? Positron is the antiparticle of electron. So here I am writing below the positron. What is positron? Antiparticle of electron. Okay. So in this case, what is happening? From a gamma ray photon, when an electron and positron are produced, that is known as, that reaction is known as the pair production. Okay, pair of what? Electron and positron. Electron and positron means what? One particle, another antiparticle. And remember that when energy is converted into mass, then one particle, another antiparticle is produced. And in the same manner, when particle and antiparticle combine with each other, then they get destroyed and their mass is converted into energy. So what is pair production? Regarding pair production, this equation, the way I have written, exactly in the same manner you must write. Means how you will write? H nu. From H nu, you are getting a one electron. Electron is having negative charge, mass 0. Positron is having same amount of positive charge, mass 0. Okay, and what is positron? Antiparticle of electron. This antiparticle of electron you don't have to write. Write down the equation like this: H nu equal to -1 beta 0 plus 1 beta 0, and below that don't forget to write whatever I have written within bracket. Means H nu is nothing but a gamma photon, then this is electron, this is positron. I am reminding you that those who do not like to study, for them this is a very scoring chapter. Just you will write down this equation, 2 marks you will get. Okay, so kindly please learn this equation and write down it in the exam exactly the way I have written. Below H nu, don't forget to write gamma photon. Below the symbol of electron, don't forget to write electron. Below the symbol of positron, don't forget to write down positron. Okay, now next important point is that it is a nuclear reaction. That's why what will be, if you consider the rest mass of electron and positron, rest mass of electron and positron is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. So how much energy you may get when electron and positron will be converted into energy? It is given by E into m0 c square. So m0 is 9.1 10 to the power minus 31 kg, and c is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second square. It will be whole square, and if you convert it into electron volt, that conversion no need to remember, it will come 0.51 mega electron volt. So the first point you remember, then second you remember that electron energy associated with electron and positron is 0.51 mega electron volt. That's why what should be the energy of the gamma photon for pair production? Energy of the gamma photon should be 1.02 mega electron volt. 0.51 plus 0.51 is 1.02 mega electron volt. Okay, so how much minimum energy of a gamma photon is needed for pair production? 1.02 mega electron volt. Why this is the energy, minimum energy needed gamma ray for pair production? Because the energy associated with the rest mass of electron and positron is 0.51 mega electron volt. So you see, related with the topic pair production, you have to learn first point, what is pair production? Pair production means when a gamma photon breaks into gamma photon produce a pair of electron and positron, that is known as pair production. And in case of pair production, what is happening? In case of pair production, energy is converted into mass. Look at the arrow, from energy to mass, means energy, gamma ray photon is converted into electron and positron. Okay, so only 4 points you have to remember related with the topic. Kindly learn it, practice it, and remember it about the pair production. Now the reverse of the pair production process is called pair annihilation. Pair annihilation means what? Destroyed. So electron, and which pair we talk about? The electron positron pair. So when electron positron pair combine, here they will produce 2 gamma ray photon. This comes from the conservation of momentum and energy. So 2 gamma ray photon, you see, one will move in this direction, another will move in this direction. So this is known as the pair annihilation. So pair annihilation is the process. 2 points you have to remember, where mass is converted into energy and pair of electron and positron combine to each other, producing 2 gamma ray photon. So you must learn the mass energy equivalent relation, then pair production and pair annihilation. With pair production 4 points related, and with pair annihilation 2 points related. Now the next topic is mass defect and binding energy of a nucleus. Nucleus is a very interesting thing, you know. Inside the nucleus, what do we know? There are protons. Okay. All the protons, they are repelling each other. But what is happening? You can bind them together in a very, very small region. Okay. So, where from the energy is coming? So if you want to form a nucleus, then what you have to do? All the protons who are fighting always with each other, you have to keep them together in a very, very small region. They are always repelling each other, but you have to bind them together, as well as neutron, bind them together within the nucleus. So how is it possible? This is possible in this way, that if you calculate the mass of the nucleons separately, total mass of the nucleons, and if you calculate the mass of the nucleus after combining them, after binding them within that small region of the nucleus, you will observe that mass of the nucleus is little less than total mass of the nucleon. So what is happening to that little less mass? That less mass is converted into the energy needed to bind the nucleons together to form the nucleus. Alright. So we call, there are two terms associated here with this concept. Mass defect. What is mass defect? Delta M, we denote it by delta M. Mass defect is difference between the total mass of the nucleons. Nucleons means what? Mass of proton and neutron minus the mass of the nucleus is known as the mass defect. Alright. So total mass of the nucleons, one can write like this. If you consider mass of proton be MP. Is that clear? How many protons are there? Equal to the atomic number Z. So you can write Z into MP is the total mass of the proton. Then what is the number of neutron present? Neutron is A minus Z, where A is the atomic number of the nucleus and A is the mass number of the nucleus and Z is the atomic number of the nucleus. So A minus Z will give you the mass number of neutrons present in it. So multiplied by mass of neutron, this will give you the total mass of the nucleons minus mass of the nucleus. So you can write simply that mass of the nucleus, it is giving you the concept of mass defect. Alright. Then what is binding energy? Binding energy, the short form we use is B dot E. So binding energy is, if you convert the mass defect into the energy, then that is known as the binding energy. Why binding energy? Because that is the energy binding all the nucleons together in the very small region and forming the nucleus. So the simple concept of binding energy is the energy needed to bind all the nucleons together in the small region and form the nucleus is called as binding energy. So what will be binding energy? Binding energy is equal to mass defect into C square. Alright. So these are the two important relations you have to learn and remember. So you see, if this is the binding energy to form the nucleus, then if one wants to break the nucleus, then also the same amount of energy we have to apply, isn't it? So binding energy gives you the concept also how much total energy you need to take the nucleons apart from each other. Is that clear? Now there is another point related with it, that is average binding energy per nucleon. What is average binding energy per nucleon? This is total binding energy of the nucleus divided by total number of nucleons. that gives you the average binding energy per nucleon. And physically, what is the significance of the average binding energy per nucleon? This is the energy which should be given to a nucleon to take it away from the nucleus. Alright, suppose you want to take one proton away from certain nucleus, then you need to provide that proton average binding energy per nucleon of that particular nucleus. That's why average binding energy per nucleon always very important to the concept of the stability of a nucleus. So average binding energy per nucleon is a very important what I can say term in nuclear physics. Why? Because higher the average binding energy per nucleon of a nucleus, the nucleus is more stable. So from the value of the from the value of the average binding energy per nucleon of a nucleus, one can explain the stability of the nucleus. Because you know, the radioactive nucleus are not at all stable. Okay, in order to get stability, they generally disintegrate and produce the other nucleus. So the reason of radioactivity is this. What is the reason of radioactivity? Reason of radioactivity is this: to get a stable structure of the nucleus. And how to get the stable structure of the nucleus? Higher the average binding energy per nucleon of a nucleus, greater is the stability of the nucleus. So that's why average binding energy per nucleon is a very important term in nuclear physics. So this chapter is over. Then the average binding energy per nucleon graph is there, but that topic is omitted from your portion this year, so you don't have to study that. Only you learn from this chapter the mass energy equivalence relation, E is equal to delta mc square. Then pair production means gamma ray photon. From a gamma ray photon, when a gamma ray photon is destroyed and produced a one positron electron pair, that is the pair production. For pair production, what is the minimum energy needed for gamma ray proton? 1.02 mega electron volt. Why? Because the energy associated with the rest mass of electron positron is 0.51 mega electron volt. Then what is pair annihilation? When electron and positron pair is destroyed, then two gamma ray photon is produced. That process is known as pair annihilation. In pair annihilation, mass is converted into energy. In pair production, energy is converted into mass. Then what is mass defect? Mass defect is the difference between the total mass of the nucleons total mass of the nucleon and the mass of the nucleus. And what is binding energy? The energy needed to form the nucleus is known as the binding energy, and binding energy is equal to energy equivalent of mass defect. Okay, and then what is average binding energy per nucleon? Total binding energy of the nucleus divided by total number of nucleons present within the nucleus. It gives you the average binding energy per nucleon, which determine the stability of the atom. Higher the average binding energy per nucleon, greater is the stability of the atom. Only this much you have to learn, prepare and remember for your exam. And the numericals later on I'll send you by PDF. Thank you guys.